What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. It's at Amazon Kindle Create Space. The link will be in the description box below as usual. Uh, First, this title is Daddy Issues, aka Electric Complex, or Electra Complex, aka Daddy Issues. um, I was listening to Obsidian and he said the Electric Complex, and it's been a long time since I heard it. So let's talk about it. So that's what sparked me to talk about this. Um, the opposite of the edifice complex. You know, the people who dating kind of their love with their mama's boys kind of guys that's transferring that to the women they dating. Same thing with electric complexes, girls who have a thing for their daddy. You know, and this plays out in different ways, right? So when you're dealing with girls with an Electra complex, it's a lot of different dynamics that you can go into. Like a young lady who may have whose dad may have just left, right? Really left. She may have abandonment issues. So she might be the type of girl who she pushes you away on purpose because she has abandonment issues. It's completely opposite of what you would think. You know, some people are clingy because they have abandonment issues and they don't want anybody to go, and they just, they clutch onto you super tight. And the other people will push you away as to justify, you see, everybody leaves me just like my daddy. So this is part of these uh, issues. We're gonna get into some other stuff. The other thing about that is when you're dating people or you're around women in general who have these complexes, if it's the Freudian part of psychology would tell you Freud basically put everything based around sex. So when the girl's calling daddy, 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 it's kind of a twisted, creepy way of I have daddy issues and I don't have any love, and me and my dad didn't have a loving relationship. So when I'm making love, I'm screwing you, but at the same time making love to my dad to get the love that I never got, kind of thing. Like I said, creepy. That's why when a woman likes, if I deal with a woman and she calls me daddy, I'm like, I don't want to mess with her because you know if you put that in reverse and a guy's having sex with a woman and he starts, come on, mama, come on, mama, come on, mama, you're gonna be like, something wrong with this dude. If as a woman, you know what I'm saying? It's abnormal if a guy does it to a woman. So it's just as abnormal um, when a woman does it to a man. The difference is we look at it as socially acceptable, which is crazy. But along with these complexes is the providing and protection type of thing. Because there's a dynamic of a man providing and protecting that stems from this electric complex and these daddy issues. Because some of this gold digging stems from the fact that a woman has daddy issues, so men need to take care of her in a way that she feels like her dad didn't provide and protect for. Same thing when you deal with women who quote unquote date um, the rough types because they need protection because they may have been unprotected in their home with their mother. So what winds up happening is they're trading off their sexuality for the protection that they never got from dad. So a lot of this um, reaction to insecurity or insufficiency spills over into their adult relationships. You want, so everything you couldn't get from dad, you get from men. That's why in some ways people act like they gotta make females act like they gotta make men pay for everything. And it becomes a bad issue because females don't realize or do realize that they have this insatiable need for more. So when you're transferring your daddy issues onto the men you're dating, there will never be a fair trade because you're looking for one particular guy to pay back all the things that you didn't get from your dad. And the problem with that is when you're dating multiple guys, as you ladies do, you don't add up everything you got from all of these multiple guys. You're just looking for one guy. So life and karma might have paid you back two, three, four, sevenfold from all of your protection. But you never added it up because you didn't get it from one guy in particular. You got it from 30. You might have got the provision that you needed, but you didn't get it from one guy. You got it from 30. And you've never taken the time to say, whoa, all of these things that I've gotten from all of these males in my life via them just being kind-hearted or societal chivalry should count towards my daddy issues of protection and provision. You know, another part of that. Oh, but it doesn't. Another part of that is the pimping of young girls to be women to get with a older guy who's more established. That plays into this Electric Complex and daddy issues because you know the older guy is more established. He he has enough disposable income to take care of me the way that dad didn't. He has enough wisdom and knowledge to teach me how to be a woman because mom could only teach me so much about female interaction, and she couldn't teach me anything about the interaction with men. So I need a man to have the wisdom and the patience to be able to teach me how to be a lady and go with the back and forth and childish games of this and that and this and that, you know. And furthermore, you also got the point where you're dealing with the pimping aspect where you might be in competition with your mom the same way sometimes when mothers have when people are in healthy relationships, you know, a daddy's love is different from the love of his wife. But as the kids grow older, you know, there is no competition because there's a complete different. A man, a sane man, wouldn't love his wife the same way he loves his daughter. But when you take the dynamic of marriage, family out of it and interject a guy who's not the father in this scenario, then the mother will see it as fair game as competing for a man's affections, and vice versa. You got some of these young women, if you're dating their mother, they will compete with their mother for the mother's boyfriend's affection. You know what I'm saying? Because what they're lacking in male interaction, they're willing to fight for. And if when you become a certain age, they may use their sexuality as the weapon of choice to get all of these things, you know. And unfortunately, a lot of you women feel like, you know, you're using your sex for resources because, let's be honest, that's how it's playing out. But even the women who use their sex for resources, in the end, still wind up with nothing because they're still needing, they're still looking for that daddy, that unconditional love. And the problem with that is unconditional love is a motherly trait, not a fatherly trait. Fathers have conditions. Fathers have standards. Fathers have boundaries. Fathers have structure. So there are certain things that you can do with your mama. Mama's just like, oh, it's my baby, so what? Father's like, nah, nah, not having it. And I think part of that those dad issues and complexes when you've been around women so long that you thought that men actually give unconditional love to the point where in the aspect of you get to do whatever you want to do with no recourse and no repercussion and no response, when that is utterly ridiculous and untrue. So then you have these issues with men because you think your daddy would love you regardless, because as a child he might protect you above all, no matter what you did wrong. As a teenager, he still might protect you depending on if he feels like you're being taken advantage of. But as an adult, he's not going to protect you like that, because as an adult, he's going to weigh out both sides. And and some guys, and the thing between men is, if a man does something to affect the guy's daughter, that man will normally approach that guy and talk to him first. Let's see his side of the story. Let's see if he's telling the truth. Let's see if this if he's being sincere and genuine, or he's trying to get over. So if even if the young lady has done wrong, if he's being sincere and genuine about it and not trying to hustle somebody, like you win some, you lose some. But if he's being a complete uh, ass about it, and just saying, what, I do what I want because I'm a guy, and as a man, nobody tells me what to do, and I can do what I want, and there's no repercussion, then you're gonna get your head knocked in. It is what it is. So I'm saying that because part of this Elecrta complex is, this is partially the reason why we have these gender wars. I heard BGS Idmore say this in one of those hangouts, I think when you heard me first time, is that you women want us to fix you, and y'all don't realize it's because of your daddy issues and your Elecrta complex. You want a man in your life to specifically take the time to fix you. That's part of the reason why marriage is down, because instead of because you're choosing to fake like you love a guy to eventually backdoor and on the back end steal his resources for being with you and your issues, and at the same time wanting him or another man to come in, that husband guy, to do it, or the guys previously or after the fact to fix you when it's all over. So you want to get rewarded for all of your debauchery, and you want to get carte blanche for all of your debauchery, because deep down, you're complex that daddy is going to love you regardless. Daddy's going to fix everything, and daddy's your superhero, and daddy absolves you of all responsibility. We're never having, because you've never sometimes had those conversations with your dad to let you actually know that you can't go around kicking up dust with men and expecting men to fix your problems. It's not going to happen. Because dad's not gonna take your bullshit. So these men are. So ultimately, this Elecrta complex doesn't necessarily work out well for women, and this is partially why, if you flip it around, it's why the Oedipus complex, women don't like mama's boys, because you feel like women always say, I feel like I'm dating my son, and but without understanding that a vast majority of women have this Elecrta complex and these daddy issues, to the point where men are not messing with you because it feels like we're dating our daughter in their 20s, 30s, 40s, with all of your hang-ups and insecurities and issues and tantrums, and I need shiny little trinkets to get my attention off of reality, that type of stuff. So it's a problem. Yeah.